We didn't say, in case money comes around, then we change, yeah, at the end of the day. So I even invited him. I said, no, start another tournament, call it KAVC, NSSF, but leave the memorial to what? To Dr. Odeke. But on the other hand, you can work it in such a way so that the sponsor understands that this is a memorial what? Tournament. A memorial tournament. So, and it can even provide more publicity on that.
Is it okay to say that is when you and your association with KAVC came to an end?
No.
When did it?
I have fundamental differences. That is additional. My break of association with the KAVC was very simple. And I've maintained it through my entire volleyball world. Discipline. Discipline. If you don't want discipline, I have no business with you. You can continue with your indiscipline because I cannot prevent you from being indisciplined. But if I come and tell you you are indisciplined and you say indiscipline is the trend these days, all right?
So who are indisciplined? Was it the players or the people running the club at the time?
Well, in all my clubs, players are the administrators. You see, among players, we formulate administration like in NEMO Stars now. There are some of us in the background, right? Like me and Petron. We have a chairman, board of directors, but the people who are running the club are those people down there, and they are elected or appointed, and they run the club. Now, we oversee the running of the what? Of the club, but they do the administration. Now, success in their internal administration is discipline. And for me, discipline doesn't matter whether you bring money, bring whatever it is, there's no other option. So there was indiscipline in the club. They were breaking fundamental rules which were set down. And you know, and that happens to my club now, Nemo. You won't come and find that this is a rule written down, this is a rule written down. But we've set out norms which we understand we must follow. And everybody tells you, no, you must keep this norm, you must keep this norm. And it is upon you. You want to keep the norm, you stay. You don't want to keep the norm, you go. But in this case, the people who are not keeping the norms insisted they must stay. Now if you insist, and this is breaking the norms, and you say you must stay, then me who insists on the what? On the norms, I go away. So maybe these indiscipline issues are not issues to people who I left behind running the clubs, but for me they were issues. You see, it's like my old mom there. From day one, she says, you know, you must get married in church. You must get married to one what? One wife. You must, you know, maintain your what? You must bring up your children. From her, like that. I grew up understanding that. Now I come set up my home. It is my home over here. She's now in my home. I may decide, you know, my wife is in the United States. I may decide to bring in another one. But if I do so, she will never talk to me. Although it is okay, men take other wives and so on and so forth. But if I break my marital vows and she hears about it, first she will summon me and say, how could you do it? My wife doesn't have to, she's the first one to what. Now, if I insist on doing this, and some of her sons have done so, she will lay down the law. Don't talk to me. So she's the one who brought up, and I have the same mind. So if you break my rules, you can continue, but not with me. This is what I explained to your colleague, Swale Keny. But he was so incensed with the fact that I was quarreling with the KAVC. Why should I quarrel with KAVC? They are there. Me, I'm running my NEMO. on my end. I don't need to go and quarrel with them. But if they want me to associate with them, there are certain standards. In my language, we have a saying, if you want to eat at table with the elders, you must do what? Wash your hands. You don't go to the elders' table and your hands are dirty and you say, you're also, eating with elders at the end of. That's it. So I insist people must wash their hands.
Okay, that's it. At which, when did you get the idea to start another club?
It was not the idea to start another club. But when I left KVC at the end of 99, beginning of 2000, after telling them, this is what I want. You can do otherwise, but without me. I gave them 5 years. I said, in 5 years, sort yourselves out. If you have sorted yourselves, come and let me know. Then we can go together. But if you decided you don't want to sort yourselves out, for us we're party. So I went. So at the end, in the 4th year, I think it was 2004, some of the top people at KVC, they came back to me and they said, no, coach, you said 5 years, this is the 4th year, and I think things are getting better. Can you come back? So they invited me to come back, and I addressed everyone at KVC. I said, this is why I left, and I've been invited to come back. This is why I am here. And then there was a division. I think the majority chose that they want to remain as they are. And then these other fellows, they said, for us, we even came and talked to you. Please, what can you do for us? I said, what do you want done? I said, can't we start another club? All right? So it took me about 6 months to think about it. So I said, if we start another club, we start clean from the ground. Don't go anywhere looking for what? They said, no, we can persuade some of the KVC players to come and join us. I said, you try. But for me, I want to start from the. So I gave them time. They went and they arranged what? Whenever they persuaded somebody to come to the new club, the other fellows would come and get him and persuade him to go back. Until I tell them, don't waste your time. Pick fresh players. And that's what we did. We picked fresh players in 2005 and then started looking for where we are going to do our thing. We started at Kororo SS by the roadside with small kids, about 13, 14, 16 or something like that. For about a year, we were working with small girls there. The following year, I think towards the end of 2005, players at Uganda Christian University thought if we helped them, they could perform better. So we invited them to come for training with us. And we trained them so well that actually they won the national championships in 2006. And they decided to what? To stay, join us. Those who are still there remained and then came to us after that. Those who were still continuing students. But those who had graduated like Oka Peace, Namanya, Ofo, and about 5, they decided to be here. And then the others finished their course and joined up. That was the main core of the men's team. And then the girls from UCU, about 5 of them, 6, also decided to what? To join KVC. I mean, Nemo Stars. Does that answer you?
Yeah. But, so at the time, did you foresee this team going on to become successful? Yes, you've managed to get some players from teams. At which point did you think this team can go on to, achieve a lot of success? Was it because of 1 or 2 players, or generally just you were focusing on picking?
This is the problem most teams have. You know, you concentrate on what? On players, one or two also players. My principle has always been concentrate on what? On the team. So you find that most of our wins have not been from single players. Although we have giants like Georgia Poru and Doctor and so on and so forth. The success has come from what? The team. So, most of our successful players have been actually developed from within. They have developed, and we get players out of, you know, without any experience. Let's say like a young man that we picked up. I think we had lost our setter, Innocent Mugiraneza. He was Rwandese and he had gone back to Rwanda, and we didn't have a setter. So I picked up a boy from senior 5. He had been playing the game, but nobody had told him he was a setter. So we developed him. Within a year, he was setting for the senior team.
Okay.
It's called John Bosco Opendi, JB. He's been setting for Nkumba, then Sky, is it? Yeah, or something like that. We developed him from nothing until he became what? National setter. At the end of the current setter that we had, he came in as almost nobody. Smith Okumu from Rugazi Mixed. I think he was being persuaded to go and play for KCC or something. He didn't like that and he came to us, and he was nobody. So people were not very much interested in him. We started him from there, built him up, and then worked with his colleagues. When you get Georgia Poru, when we got Georgia Poru, actually he had size, but nothing. Then we worked on him. When he had developed, because he was developing very fast, I think we gave him to the national team. Well, first of all, Makerere dropped him. They didn't take him to play. Then the national team, then I told him, no, you bide your time. By the following year, when he was re-invited to go and he discovered no team could go anywhere without him. There were more experienced players, but this man had vigor and was going. But he was groomed right from what? From Nemo. So we always emphasize the team rather than, and George is now the giant of the team, but he's the one who will tell you physically it isn't him. In a set, he might contribute something like 11 points, 13 points out of 25, all right? But nobody ever won a game by taking 11 points. So he takes his 11 points, and then the others contribute to make the 25, and that's where we are. And we emphasize that from the beginning. At the
but Nemo, you're interested more in grooming the player, because that then elevates them in stature, not only on the, not only on the court, but also within the team. And
yeah, I'll give you an example. At beginning of this year, no, at the end of last year, we got this young man. He's now our major middle attacker. He's called Redman. He's Bernard Malinga, right? We got him. He's at Matrix, and he even got invited to go and join Gisagara in Rwanda, and they didn't take him at the end of the day. So we told him, look, come here, let's improve your game. And from the time that the league ended, the man religiously turned up to improve the what. By the time we took him to Cairo, first of all we took him to Rwanda. He didn't do so well at the end of it. We brought back, we panovited him. By the time we took him to Cairo, he was in his own. And nobody could touch any of his work. And he himself could look and say, I'm playing a what? a better game now. But we told him we are not bringing you as a star. We will bring you as a what? As a potential. All right? When we got Dr. Louis Mubangizi, he was hitting great balls at the end of the day. But, you know, it's like you are given about 5 balls, and 2 of them you kill, but the others you flop on. And we said, no, you come. We want to stabilize you so that if you are given 5 balls, you are going to score 5 times. And we had to work on him like that until eventually he was identified as one of those players who throw stones instead of balls at the end of the day. But again, we train him to improve his personal skills and then move in blend with what? With the rest of the player, because all of them have got functions, roles to play on the team. But at the end of the day, they have to do what all the others do. Recently, we got a player from KVC. He's a libero. And those people were retiring him at the end of the day. When he arrived at KVC, I mean at NEMO, we told him, you're training here. You know, he was used to, you go to training, you train as a libero. We said, no, you're going to set, you're going to serve, and you're going to attack. And we give him target. You say, our attacks, we want them hard within this distance, not there, within this distance. So he starts off because he's been playing libero and he's spiking there. Then we say, we are gauging you as your balls come near. He said, but coach, what has this got to do with the libero? I said, you're going to tell me. Now you go and ask him now. So, although we want you to specialize, we want you to be a complete player. Don't come in and just get your niche and say, this is what I'm supposed to be. Be a complete player. If you are not ready to do that, you'll find you don't fit. Particularly in NEMO. I don't know about other teams. But if you are not ready to apply yourself in all the areas of the world, you'll find that you don't fit.
So NEMO was a club by 14 years?
2005, January.
14 years.
15.
15.
You're getting 99 and subtracting.
This is 2019.
Yes, you're subtracting.
Success you've managed to get with this, to get with the team, because how many titles do you have? Close to 5.
You go and count. We have taken all the league since 2012 except 2 years. All right, that is the year that it was taken by, that's 14, and then the year when we didn't have the league, that is 16 and 17.
So, let's go back to 2012. Did you see that particular, I mean, at which point did you see those players and think, you know what, these boys are good enough to win the league title? And did you see utter domination coming for the next 7 years after their initial title?
How can I put it to you? Normally, when I've started clubs, and I've started very many, some of the clubs don't know that I actually started them, all right? I give them a specific time frame, all right? Now, the time frame is not necessarily to win, but to play well, all right? Because volleyball has got 5 skills, 6 skills, all right? And you have to make sure that you go through each one with each player. Now, if you are going to develop people from scratch, of wherever the Lamshako where they've been, all right? You have to give a period for each of those skills. And for me, my period is what? 5 years. For each of the skills, that is serving, receiving, setting, attacking, blocking. I give it 5. And by the end of that 5, if I remain with the same people All right? If somebody has remained with me, they should be proficient in either of that one. That's when you can now say, we have a game. Now, what can we put it to? So, from 2005, we'd given ourselves a target. Actually, we had said we wanted to get into the playoffs by about 2009. All right? We got into the playoffs in 2009. All right? Now, you see, you don't chew more than you can what? You can, bite more than you can chew. Yes? So our target was to get into the playoffs by that period. Then we got into the playoffs, and we said, now we want to get to the final in the next 2 years. So we got there into 2010. 2011, we were in the final. All right? And so now, after getting to the final, that is when we would say now, next year we want to what? To win. And sure enough, in 2012, we won.
What was it like for you after all the toil you've done with all these other teams to get this particular team?
For me, it is a bit of responsibility. I feel myself responsible for the game. When I left KVC were at the top, very far at the top. All the other teams were down here, all right? And because they were so far at the top, they continued being at the top, but it was like, by the time we came back, there were a lot of teams, KVC, KCC, I don't know who, blah, 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 playing around. But the game had moved down completely, all right? And my idea, now if you are going to influence a game to move up, then you have to influence it from the what? The top. So our idea was, how can we improve the game? We do that by getting to the top, and then we start to influence, govern how the game is being played. So part of what when we were, so we could get into the what? Into the finals, and we get to win. We said, you win, you go to the Continental. Because these guys were winning, and they stand around. They could even come to from bars. They go to a competition and they win. And they say, who is there to beat us? You tell people, train. They say, no, why should we train? Who are we training for at the end of it? So our getting to the top was to challenge people. That you have to what? You have to train, work hard, and then win. And then also, these guys at KVC, they had abandoned the game to the universities. I don't object to universities participate in the national championship and the league. I don't object to them. The only thing is that if you do so, all right, you may get to a stage like we are now at this moment, where the limit of your game is the universities. And the universities are students. They are at their institutions for 3 years, all right? And then they go away. They're never serious. They play for fun, all right? Now, if you abandon the game to the students, you are going to remain at that level. When they leave, a few other jokers will join in the first year, and then up to 3 years, and then other jokers come in like that at the end of the day. We wanted a situation where the clubs, all right, so that there is a progression from primary school to secondary school, right? Secondary school to university, then from university to clubs. But now people are leaving clubs and joining university. You have Nkumba University. They now call KCB Nkumba. They have collected what? All the players. They have taken over there, and they say Nkumba is what? Now the game is going to remain there at the end of the national championships. You saw here, Nkumba versus UCU in the finals. And we've been telling UCU players, because we went with them to Cairo earlier this year. We are telling them, whatever you are playing is very good, but the club playing has got to be higher. Now, if you bring up your game, the clubs go higher. Bring up, you go higher. So the universities and other institutions should feed the what? The clubs. That is my thinking. Other people, you know, if you tell the people who run the universities, they will tell you how. You see, our universities are getting publicity. And at the end of yes, getting publicity, but you are holding down the game because you people are 3-year people. The clubs have to step up their game. So our clubs now, KVC, NEMO, Sportes, what are the other clubs? They have to know that they have to build up their game to be higher in order for this country to move forward. And we are not very far because our girls who represent us in the World Cup, Kenya, they play very well, they beat everybody around here. But they have gone to Japan and they are being whipped like they started the school, the game yesterday at the end of the day. Now, you can go there and worship, oh, Japan, very good, America, very good, but you can do it here. You can do it here and build, but you have to set your priorities. At the moment, putting the universities in the National League is holding us down. Now, there are enough universities that we can establish a what? Because like the United States, they don't have clubs, but they are top what are university, the University League, both for men and women. And then from there, players go and play professional, wherever it is, and then from there they come to the national team. But other countries, which I have seen, well, there is a progression from primary school, secondary school, universities, clubs, and you get there. If we want to build a culture of the game.
So, your team, I mean, NEMO has won 5 championships. They've gone to the continent. Should I say the same number of times?
Every time we win, we go. Is it 5 times? Still 6 times. Is it? 2013 we went. Let's say we won 2012, 2013, 2015, 2016, 2018. 5 times.
So you've gone 5 times.
6 times because the year we didn't win the league, we won the national championship. So we have gone 6 times. Yeah.
How hard is that for a club owner or, you know, people who run the club to keep, you know, to keep churning out the resources to take a team to the championships?
Hey, you are talking about resources. There are 2 areas that you want. How do you keep up the performance technically and tactically? How do you keep up for that period, keeping players for the same time, for the same world? Then secondly, where do you get resources? And both of them are a problem. Say, for example, from the time we started winning here and going to present to represent the country at the Continental, right? We've tried, you know, at the end of every time we go, we find we are not good enough. We come back to try to recruit locally. But here, when you win in Uganda, when you win, the rest of the people you've beaten now form a group to make sure that you don't win again. So when you go out to recruit for the following year, everybody is there to make sure that the talented players don't come to you. Now, for us at NEMO, what we've been trying to do is to make sure that the players we have trained don't go away from us. We are very lucky if we get talent, and because the universities have things we don't have. They can offer scholarships. They can offer, you know, all this sort of thing at the age of the people we want. Okay? Then the other people, other clubs can offer money. We don't have the money. That's a big challenge for us. Every time we have gone out to represent Uganda, we have sent out the basket. First of all, we collect among ourselves, then we appeal. And we go and travel and play on the bare minimum. Bare minimum. None of our players gets any allowance. There's no allowance to talk about. There was a time we collected, and at the end of spending, I think I had a balance of $300. So I collected all the players and I said, I have $300. I can divide, and each one of you gets $20. So I gave them $20 each. They were very happy. $20. Because it was something as a bonus. But we don't have any funds to give allowances. We don't have. People have to have their inner drive. They want to win. They want to go and represent the country. That's what drives us. When that stops, when people start demanding, we want, you are not doing this for us, that is the end of us as NEMO. And we have had, there are players who have come to us. If you ever hear of a player who has left NEMO, it is because he got demanding and we could not meet their demands. And we said, okay, you go where you can get your demands met. So that is a challenge. Don't laugh at us.
No, I'm not laughing.
That is us.
I was really
the saying goes that where there is a leper patient, you know lepers, sometimes their fingers are broken. That when you're in the presence of a leper, don't start folding your fingers because he thinks you're laughing at. I'm a poor administrator of a club which is a champion.
Okay. How exactly do you plan to, okay, what advice do you have for club owners? It could be in other sports as well, who are in the situation you're in, and how exactly do you think government can help with generating funds for teams, especially those that are going to represent? Because at the end of the day, they do not go and play as NEMO Stars of Kampala, they play as NEMO Stars of Uganda. How exactly would you advise government to avail funds?
Don't ask me to advise government. I even worked for government as a very top man, controlling the entire budget of this country. You know, you couldn't spend even a single cent without me channeling it through you. That's where I was working. But in my own way over there, I was trying to influence the powers that be to take a more concerned look at sports. But when you do so, and you get the ear of the government toward the sports, they will think of soccer. All right? So in this country, soccer is sports. All right? And even when you go and argue our case, you say, no, the rest of the sports have gone up and actually made the name for Uganda at the end of the day. You know, what name? Who knows about it? People will even ask you, what is the spelling of what? Of volleyball. At the end of the year, how is it played? Now, if even you people who are in the mass media communication, you look at yourselves. When you have stories to run for any sports, you'll find soccer, even if he has gone to, where did they go recently? And they were eliminated in what? Did they make the AFCON. Did they make the
stopped in last 16.
They stopped at 16. Headlines everywhere. You come here, they are in the State House everywhere at the end of it. So if you are a game like volleyball, please don't ask me to go and ask government. If necessary, we shall be like Kiprotich. You make your own what? efforts. You even go to Kenya and beg people to allow you to what, right? And you go on to run, you don't have any, and then you go and win the what? The marathon. Then you come here and you are taken what? To State House, and you are given, I don't know how much they are given, or something like that. And when you do that, they will promise, like they promised Kiprotich a truck in what? In Kapchorwa, all right? But I understand one of the players himself, the sportsman, has constructed his own what? Truck over there, all right? And the government one has not gone here. So now, why are you asking me to, to ask the government at the end of the day? If one day I managed to take, like this time I took Nemo, and we actually did better than the AFCON football. We got in the, came back in 6, we got in the last 8. And in fact, if my players can work very hard and win again, and we go back, I want us to be in the last 4. Maybe somebody will remember and invite us to State House.
Do you think that's possible for him?
We don't think that way. Sometimes, you know, as we work.
We shall sit on near, sit on near. Almighty God and Father, we are here at this moment which is very difficult in our lives to celebrate the life of our beloved Ojala. We are here, we are sad. You know how much he meant to us. You know what legacy he leaves behind. You know the circumstances in which he has left us. And so we are sad. Father, stretch your hand and touch each one of us. Be our source of comfort. Be our source of comfort, Father, so that we leave this place still trusting and believing that you love us nevertheless. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. On page 9 of our Lord of service. And the resurrection and the life, says the Lord. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live. And who believe in me, even though they die, will live. Everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. I'm convinced that neither death nor life, nor angels nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor depths, nor anything else in creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord. And the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. Blessed the ones who mourn, for they will be comforted. Because God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that everyone who believes in him may not perish, but have eternal life. Together, Heavenly Father, in your Son Jesus Christ, you have given us a true faith and a true hope. Strengthen this hope and faith in us for our days, that we may live as those who believe in the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of eternal life, through your Son Jesus Christ our Lord. Let us arise and say together that Psalm 106. Together, praise the Lord. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Who can proclaim the mighty acts of the Lord, or fully declare his praise? Blessed are those who act justly, who always do what is right. Remember me, Lord, when you show favor to your people. Come to my aid when you save them, that I may enjoy the prosperity of your chosen ones, that I may share in the joy of your nation, and join your inheritance in giving praise. We have sinned, even as our ancestors did. We have done wrong and acted wickedly. When our ancestors were in Egypt, they gave no thought to the miracles. They did not remember the many kind things, and they rebelled by sin, the Red Sea. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Please be seated. I invite the choir to sing a chorus, which will put us in the mood for the first reading. The laying of their wreaths shall come later, together with the speeches. A chorus, and then we get their first reading.
The first reading, Psalm 90. Lord, you've been our dwelling place throughout all generations. Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the world from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. You turn people back to dust, saying, return to dust to mortals. 1,000 years in your sight, and like a day that has gone by, or like a wash in the night. Yet you sweep people away in the sleep of death. They are like the new grass of the morning. In the morning, it springs up new, but by evening, it's dry and withered. We are consumed by your anger and terrified by your indignation. You have set our iniquities before you, our secret sins in the light of your presence. All our days pass away under your wrath. We finish our years with a mourn. Our days may come to 70 years or 80 if our strength endures. Yet the best of them are but trouble and sorrow, for they quickly pass and fly away. If only we knew the power of your anger. Your wrath is as great as the fear that is your due. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Relate, Lord, how long will it be? Have compassion on your servants. Satisfy us in the morning with your unfailing love, that we may sing for joy and be glad all our days. Make us glad for as many days as you have afflicted us, for as many years as we have seen trouble. May your deeds be shown to your servants, your splendor to their children. May the favor of the Lord have progress on us. Establish the works of our hands for us. Yes, establish the works of our hands. That's the reading.
The second reading is from 1 Thessalonians 4, 13, 18. Before I read it, I would say that this reading gives me great comfort, knowing that Papa gave his life to Christ and was Christian. Because, brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope. For we believe that Jesus died and rose again. And so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. According to the Lord's word, we tell you that we who are still alive, we are left until the coming of the Lord. We will certainly not receive those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of an archangel, and a trumpet call of God, and Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so we will be with the Lord forever. Therefore, encourage one another with these words. This is the word of God.
Okay. In the interest of time, it's 14. Sunday later, I believe apostles pray to pray together. I believe in God, the Father, Maker of heaven, and in Jesus Christ, His only Son, who was conceived by the Holy born of the Virgin, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and died. He descended into hell. Sunday he rose again from the dead. He ascended into heaven and seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again to judge the living and the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. Please be seated. Let me invite the program Mr. Ceremony to take us through the way of the weeks and speeches. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start by the line of the right, and I just call upon the different members present to come and take their order. On behalf of all coaches and wife, I'll ask Andrew to lead the right. Next, we shall have the children. Stadium will take the right for the children. After Andrew and Ali. The next, we shall have the siblings, the brothers and sisters of the next, we shall have the Canadoma family. Is that the yours? And Nagmari Old Students Association, and who can come and head the right in the house. Next, we shall have Demonstrat Oil Club. Demonstrat where the late was the factor. Demonstrat Oil Club. Please come on. After the demonstrants, Oil Club. Demonstrat the baby of the lips. Thank you very much for this start. Worship harvest. Good. We have vision for the program. Vision for the program. then finally we shall have the church. Thank you very much. That is the general. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Blue, for accepting to celebrate the life of God. Thank you very much for all of the rights. Next, we shall have a speeches to remember the dead. And still we shall not follow the protocol, they call it, but we'll have a speech, one from first the children of the deceased, who will then, after the speech, they are seated, and then as one of you will say something, you will deliver a message from command, and
Welcome everyone. I'm glad you all came here to join us to thank God, our Father. Our Father was a good man, and inspiring figure, not just to us, the children, but to many people that were blessed to know him. He was the perfect man for whatever he did. He was known for Hollywood. Everyone was there. And his stories was his. I have a message for condolence to my mother, wife, the deceased, Mrs. Jairus, and it says, I want to thank you all for the support you have, you have shown our family during this difficult time. I recognize the support of all our relatives, friends, neighbors, and other people whose lives my husband touched in life with us. It is comforting to know and see the warm support receiving during the time when my husband was sick. I especially thank the Waterloo community, particularly NEMO staff, for rallying together to support us. This has been difficult to accept. I'm sure many of you, just like myself and the children, are shocked that this happened. It's been hard to accept that a man married this for 8 years has let this happen. I met NEKO in 1972 and we were married in 1973. We just celebrated an anniversary, May 5th, and this was the 48th anniversary. Through our marriage, we were blessed with 3 biological children, 1 girl, Abigail, and 2 boys, Alpha and Andrew. We were later blessed with another girl, Martha, and Savannah. But we were blessed with more children, Catherine, Edwin, Hilda, Eva, and Helen. I'm humbled and moved by the message of support I have received these last few days. It has been the impact one can have remembered. While I can live, my husband lived his life as an example of generosity, kindness, and honesty. A principled man to the end with his heart of God to anyone in need. His mission was to guide young people through life using principles of honor. As many of you know, one of my husband's greatest passions was the game of golf. Right on the I knew him. In fact, his idea of the day was us watching him play volleyball, then out for supper, dinner. That was how far back and deep his passion. His passion again was over this year, most of people can testify to this passion. I was especially glad to see that this passion was finally recognized last year, and he was so proud to tell us about it. So on his behalf, allow me to thank the organizers of this Park Award for recognizing his passion and dedication. I know my husband, father figure, friend, mentor, guide, and confidant. An example of what we all want to be, but sometimes fail to achieve. He never failed to offer support to anyone. He never failed to support any effort because the people who knew where he did. He was a pillar of the family. The voice was found through the church, and he touched so many people, and we surely miss him. Let us all remember him well by taking his legacy alive. Practice kindness, generosity, and honesty, all we do. Never the children and I will always love you. Rest in peace, my love.
My name is NEKO NERI MUDUSE-OJALA. I'd like to start off by reading God's message from the Sydney Abigail MUDUSE-OJALA, who is with mom in the US. Close. For danger. Words cannot describe how devastating your living is. I've lost the only father I've ever had and known. You taught me everything I know, and all that I am was because of you and mom's lessons. I pray you are peace and will watch over us. I love you, baby, and I send the words of your last message to me back at you with all my heart. Love, Abigail. It's hard for me to even express this. I think when you script these words, it's easier. But when you have to dig deep from your heart, it becomes more difficult. The last images you have of your father are never good. You spend so much time, sleepless nights in the hospital, sleeping in cars. But from the time he was diagnosed, he was a fighter. He was always a fighter. And so when we were treating him from home, he preferred to come from home, like the home comfort. And he always said, would beat this thing. And then one night, we were getting, and it seemed like he had given up because he began sending us messages that scared us. Take care of your body. Don't forget the vision of the monsters, and so on and so forth. And then when we came to confront him, he was very busy, by the way, with his WhatsApp phone saying his messages. Don't want us to the next room. So we rushed to him and said, what's going on? And he told the nurse, Nurse Sarah, could you please excuse us? And then what the people, all of us, three of us, me, Arthur, Edwin, to bring the chairs. And in typical fashion of old coach, as is commonly known, he gave us one word. One word is that remark that the team gets at the end of every training session about
have done better, how can we improve? When the peers told the one it was his last one to us. And in spite of his weak state, he loves talking. He talked for over 40 minutes, giving us a rundown of everything that we should do in the event that doesn't make it. But after making us feel really heartbroken, he said, but not worry. I feel deep down inside me, I'll beat this thing. We took that as a positive. And then that night we went to hospital. And he doesn't like hospitals. He doesn't know how to fall sick because he has never fallen sick. So it was very strange for him. But while he was being pushed through those doors to the elevator in Monaco, he looked at us, blinked, I think even winked, and said, don't worry, I'll give back. Almost the words Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And indeed he fought. Of all the patients who are in the world, he was the one who was the strongest for his age, 75 years old. In fact, there was a humorous time when we had come to take him to the hospital. The nurse team was able to organize an ambulance, government ambulance to come. And this man came dressed up in the white attire, not that scary attire, but not covered up. And Dad took offense and said, who are you? Why are you coming to me dressed like that? You think I'm already dead? Where are you going to take me? And the medical worker tried to explain that, no, this is for my protection, I'm taking you so I can get better. He said, no, you're not going to take me to that where I see the remnant worse off than I am. I'm remaining here, I'm going to make it from here. So there was a numerous back and forth exchange between the two. We were outside. And then the medical worker who had brought in his oxygen tank came out shaking his head, phoned me in the kitchen, and said, I'm very baffled. I said, why? Say, this is a COVID patient, not like any other. He is very coherent. He's contesting everything I'm saying. Sometimes even I can't have an answer to what he's saying. I'm just understanding what I'm doing here. As far as I know, it's very helpful. But then he walked away shaking his head. And a lot of those moments where you're in darkness, but you find humor in it. But it's unfortunate that in spite of his promises, saying he'll give up, wouldn't be in his life. He was a Christian. The one time I had him pray for the first time, I was amazed because he prayed straight out of the book of Psalms. It was very humbling. And so I know that what the reading in First Thessalonians, we don't lose hope, but we will see him. That, till we meet again.
Good morning. Good morning. And I'm purposely saying those words. I met old coach in 2005 at the university and was starting up a project called NEKO. And the significant whenever I meet him, whether it's 10 p.m. or whatever hour of the day, is what it was. Good morning. At first, some will take offense of it, but with time, we got to understand that's a good coach. My name is Andrew. I'm short of words because Old coach has left us with so many questions that are not answered. And the last chat I had with him, he told me, Andrew, go and test. That's after I had very intelligent. Because when we left Lucia, I remember very well, on 5th, he sent me a message, because I told him I'm not feeling well. I managed to struggle through the night. I was in touch with George, I was in touch with Safina. I left the bed, I think 2 days ago. I for one have been down, but I told George and Safina this was happening in service. If God wants all of us, heal. If God still wants us to complete the legacy of God coach, we shall stay. With me here, I have two messages. One from Naumani, him being another Naumani, and the other is from the sisters. Let me start with the message of the sisters. He was such a nice brother. He always carried our burdens and made our lives easier. He always gave up his comfort to make us comfortable. Not only for us, but for our children, but even our places of work. He gave up his project to others. To make others happy, we always had someone around. We shall miss him. We greatly appreciate the 1.5 years he spent with seated every night after another, giving him company. That is the Jacob story. And always doing things with a smile, with love and no patience. He was a very patient fellow. May God grant him eternal rest, and we shall miss him greatly. This is a message from the sisters, Mrs. Chibudi and Rebecca. Sister. May the Lord grant him eternal mercies. I'm sure with all the questions that are running in the mind of the colleagues, the leaders of the coach, we shall try to fix it and have it. I'm going to read my second message. The condolence message from Ramani, all Students Association. The message goes, the great family of Senior NEKO Meduse-Ojala, Kira Kampala. Condolence message. Ramani, all students, fraternity, has with deep sorrow learned of the demise of the senior member at this very moment. The corona pandemic and also at the time all students at Naumani High School needed his wisdom and efforts. As Naumani High School Student Association, we have not only lost a member, but a father of a great source of history and an icon of sports. A friend of everyone, a disciplinarian, family accept us as simple lessons as we join you and the rest of the people in celebrating the life and the rest well completed by our senior NEKO Meduse-Ojala. To the family and the entire community of Children and Lucia as a whole, we stand together in according senior NEKO Meduse-Ojala and if it is fair. Please accept our contribution and declare the give us 1 million towards this cost to the bioreadiness, onwards and upwards of the model. Guyana Moses, President Rosa, and Sai. But members, friends, family, relatives, sisters, and brothers, I am Okapis. I'm seeing the deep end of reality. I still feel I'm not going to coach somebody somehow. What I have with him in mind are the words of the Bible, the wisdom, the guidance he gives us, and the job he has left us to accomplish. Members of the church will pray for your daily prayers for this cause. It's not an easy job, it was a drama, but may the Lord bless well Papa NEKO Meduse-OJALA.
Thank you very much. And next I would like to invite Manager Safina. Someone say, no one else.
Good afternoon, good morning. Thank the church. We thank everyone who is here. Yeah, we already know where we meet. Good morning. Because that is what God has always taught us to say. And today he has left us in the morning. I speak on behalf of the Muslims, and I know I shouldn't have been the one to speak. The chairman of the club should have been here to speak, but he's not able to be with us. He and Joseph Kenyatta. But we bring messages from him, and he's not able to be here with us. I also speak on behalf of the Volleyball fraternity, because I knew one coach because of playing volleyball. And later on, I did not end up playing volleyball. I also became part of his family. And now I became one of the family members. I knew one coach when I was a sports girl in Amisusa Girls in senior 4. When I was playing ball, basketball and volleyball, they invited me to come and join the KX club to play volleyball. So I played volleyball right from senior 4, and from that time, I became a parent to all of us who are in KFC. He became a friend, and he did everything that the parents could do to us. Our coach has got very many children. Just because of this situation we are in, we are not to see all these children. We would be overwhelmed here. He has the children of the NEKO Stars family, which is very big. Some of us have been packed outside there. So confused that we don't know what to do next. In addition to the family of NEKO Stars, we have other families in the wonderful fraternity. We have the KFC club, which is started. Then later on, we also started the NEKO Stars, the NEKO club. All the other volleyball clubs in this country are these children, because whoever has done the volleyball or a volleyball ball becomes his child. All the other clubs that play volleyball in this country are his children. And they will testify that all of them have benefited from him as a parent. I know they are out there, they are also breathing with us. The Volleyball Federation, which started as a federation, have all benefited from him as a parent and as a mentor. We thank the federation for all that they have done. One of the people who benefited from his last words is the Vice President of the Volleyball Federation, Sashi Guru. He shared with me the vision of the game, where I want the game to go. So I call upon the Federation to come and move this vision ahead. I have families of volleyball and the KCCA volleyball team. When he started KFC, he used to run 2 volleyball clubs. That is the KFC club and the KCC volleyball club. So later on, when KCC volleyball club went to be managed by KCCA, he stopped managing the club, but he's the one who started the KCCA volleyball club. The federations of various volleyball in the Eastern Central, I know right now, are confused. They cannot believe the full coaches anymore. Kenya Volleyball Federation is almost where they will be here with us. They are calling us to want to cross over to come. There's nobody in that federation who does not know him. Now the Volleyball Federation, nobody does not know him. The whole must be in shock. He has the family of the volleyballers who played volleyball in the 80s. Some of them are in the UK. They have never lost touch. Headed by Steve Chijango. You were in Uganda last week. We thank God that you came to set our football coach. Too many people play volleyball and in the UK. They passing us. We can't believe it. We have children who volleyball in the US. Those who play volleyball in the 80s, 90s. They are all living. This is the morning, and the girls who are there, they have been there together, we have been together with them beside our mothers. They have cheated him, and we are still with them even now. Coach Laura, Anthony, is not being able to speak to us in the US with his wife Jennifer, or children of volleyball who are lost as we speak. Coach Akin here, all known in the volleyball fraternity in the US, have all lost a father. In the 80s, we had a volleyball team that called itself the Landova team. The whole long list of those who called themselves the Landova team are behind us today. And they have been calling. They are not able to be here. I can't remember all of them. There's another team that played before we started playing, before the 80s. They called themselves the Fiat team. The small Fiat vehicle that old coach used to have and used to use for transporting his players. He used to drop all his players to their homes every evening after training. It didn't matter where he went. And all parents of all the volleyball players knew him. He would stand by the gate until you enter the home. While so many other players were waiting in the home. Perhaps one car, one vehicle at a time, to transport the last player would be transported at around midnight. They all made sure that the reached home safely. The Fiat team, led by General Mala, who was able to be here, he would speak endlessly about that regime. He has been there so many, and in that group, you can't visit them. They all have their stories to tell. Right now, the youngest family that he has in the demonstrators are called the demonstrators. I don't know what is happening to them right now. It's been paying their school fees. Right now, they don't know what is going to happen to them next. So his little pension that he gets every month can still afford to pay school fees. Few of those live in his house currently. judges family. There are so many. There are so many. If all of them were to be here, we would be able to God bless you. But on the show is the manager of this year for the book now. Just go to away. You've been with her through the journey. I mentioned the word cases here. And where we started from. The Nemonitos are not the youngest children. Where we came from, at East Colonial Primary School, every child in that school, every child of the teachers in that school know him. They know how much. They come every evening to run and pick balls. I don't know whether they are aware that they are all coaches know. As young as 2, 3 years, they know who one coach is. There are so many. All coach up and down. Memorial tournaments. When he started the Volleyball Federation, he later on lost a few of his very close friends with whom he had left the university and started the federation and started the KMC Volleyball Club. When he lost 2 of his key friends, decided to start up memorial tournaments in memory of those 2 very close friends. One of those was called Dr. Abdikar. He used to be in the NEKO Neri Center. The second one was Mr. Paul. His father, the boys captain, Georgia Paul. He started the Apollo Memorial Tournament and decided to put it in Gumi in memory of those 2 legends. Up to today, we still play that tournament, which has become an international tournament. Another memorial tournament opened was the KMC Memorial Tournament. In that tournament, on the list of those to be remembered, we had players, very key players who passed on. Like Rehma, she was in KCCA. We lost people with whom we started the KMC as players. We lost Christina Chen and so many others. Decided to start that tournament, which up to now the KMC Volleyball Club still runs. And today we add him onto the list of those to be remembered in these 2 memorial tournaments. We don't know what we shall call the memorial tournament that we are going to do in remembrance of him. entire family. He knows what I am able to do and what I'm not able to do. When we were writing messages, he said to me in the hospital to comfort me. I got a message telling me about the word determination. Because we always say, we have never seen the man so determined. The lot of determination to achieve everything is ready. And he does not fail. So I was telling him, come out of hospital and tell me more about that word, determination. To the medical team, we have no words. Sarah is our own player. The daughter never stars. Gave up everything at his workplace to come with the old coach and have sleepless nights to monitor what old coach was doing up to the last minute. I don't know how much I'm paying back for. God bless you. Therefore, the legacy, the responsibility that all coach has left with us today, it's not only for them on staff, but it is still big. Call upon all the wonderful fraternity to come and join us so that we move with conscious vision and legacy ahead, so that we can rest in peace. Good morning. Good morning. You kept us in the morning. Still morning. But I still miss God. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Safina. In case you haven't read, the people family, I'm told you haven't read, please take the opportunity to read it. Again, thank you very much. You received the read. So people family, please take a read. I want to read a message from the Land Rover team, a representative, that is Amon Tina, and it reads, "Oh my heart is full of questions like, why did coach have to go down? I have no idea. All I know is this: God is good all the time, and He is right in all His doings. All God down, rest in peace. You are gone now, but your messages will echo through the generations to come. All coach, you are one of the best examples of the men who showed the watching world that it is possible to love your wife, your daughter Abby, and your two sons, Andrew and Anna, as equally as the hundreds of wonderful sons and daughters you coached. Thank you for tirelessly dropping us home after the games and after the practice. famous Land Rover. Thank you for singing along with us on the long trips to Kumi, Busheni, Kisumu, Nairobi, Moshi, etc. Thank you for demanding a strong volleyball work ethic and also counseling us, prepare us for our future careers. I am so humbled, honored to be among the volleyball daughters of one coach, whom he loved as his own daughters. Thank you, Mrs. Ojala, Abby, Andrew, and Abba for sharing old coach with us. Old coach's special group volleyball memories will continue to comfort us all. Sweet are the memories of the just, for they shall find. Sweet are the memories of the just, for they shall find rest for their soul in Christ Jesus. May God of comfort and peace be with us all. All court of Ghana will be missed by many around the world. Thank you, God, for his time on earth, his impact, and the legacy he has left behind. Sending my heartfelt condolences and most sincere condolences to the Ghana family, the Ghana volleyball fraternity, the World Volleyball family, friends, relatives, and those who are mourning the loss of World Coach. We miss you, World Coach. Rest in peace. We will take care. And she quotes 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God who will for you in Christ. Adopted daughter is the one. That was the one on behalf of the Land Rover team. Like I said, coach had very many teams, and in each of the teams after his vehicles, I'll then take this opportunity to read the message from the latest vehicle he's driving, that is the Noah, and the team of the people in the Noah also have a message from their representative, Hanifa Rebecca. And the message reads, "Old coach, my old man, you have been a good father and mentor in all ways. You have loved us, you have loved the most us, and have volleyball. You have been our support system, the mobilizer, and the vision bearer. Personal pledge to do what I can do to achieve our vision, along with the party. As you lay there, I know in my heart that it is well. You have done well. School many, house many, nurtured many. You will forever be remembered and appreciated. It is saddening to me that I can't be there, and may the Almighty God receive you with more arms. Still repeat again, I will deeply miss you, my Coca-Cola lover, the father of one of the rest in peace, and in our life. For the most we pray. Allow me also recognize the Maria, the lawyers of the man designed to the deceased, the people part of the around. But this guy left everyone the way they were, and we are here with the team from Wash. Harvest Church, where Andrew happens to worship from. Andrew and one. So please come and get it.
Thank you very much. Good morning. As we who did not know the deceased have learned, very powerful stories. I feel like in the little time that I have interacted, I am deeply touched, and I can only imagine how much sad the people that actually knew him
marked last week. However, I am again encouraged by the words. I have another friend that we go to church with at worship service. She lost her mom last week, and when I went to take her condolence and the message from the church, she told me again that while everything around her was falling apart, she was encouraged. She built a name by the fact that we who know God cannot mourn like those that do not. And while she had those moments where she was tempted to break down, she kept reminding herself that there is hope. We have a certain hope that we keep looking at, even amidst all the questions, amidst all the things that we may not understand. We sometimes do not know what the future holds, but we do know who holds the future. And the Bible says that all things work for the good. Those that worship purpose, we are affiliated to the deceased through Andrew and through Martha. And I am here to represent that whole family. And we want you to know that we are standing with you and beside you in this very time. Thanks a lot.
We'll read our message before we hand over back to the church. Message from Office of the Chairperson, KCC Volleyball Club, treats the family of the late NEKO NERI MUDUSE-OJALA. We want you to know how much we at KCC celebrate the loss of the veteran coach, mentor, and father of the volleyball fraternity. To us, KCC Volleyball Club, we appreciate the life of a proud member of our precious men's team, and indeed we know that we have only dedicated his life to the development of the game nationwide. The entire executive and management joined the rest of the fraternity in sending deepest sympathies and understanding during this trying time. Please receive our congratulations for that worship. Please know that we have shared in our pain, in your pains, and so I pay our respects to our Father. All of us in such this coach, NEKO NERI MUDUSE-OJALA, may the souls of the deceased rest in peace. And finally, I just wish to encourage each one of us to keep strong and let's keep the legacy. Thank you very much. During the whole again, I'd like to hand over back to the church.
Thank you. I think our friends who have brought the list, if you so wish to, you have an opportunity to do that now as the choir leads us in some hymns, and then we put some offertory together. We're here to say thank you, God, for the life of Ojala. And so, we have for the custom.
One minute for Alien, 1 minute. And then
The basket is going to be placed during the gift. Baskets, and then put in whatever you have. I will say thank you, God. Then those who have on this, they can lay them so that we are reduced time. We're not going to be here for more than 5 minutes. From now.
to sing the song of grade 13.
That's the one that is going to come in the book that way. The damage, which time for us. Might take over, but we are here to say thank you for giving us the courage to withstand the pain of loss. Thank you for the life of NEKO Moduse-OJALA. We thank you that you gave him the gift of 75 years. We are here to say thank you for bringing us victory to life. He has lived the life which he has used to live. He has lived a legacy. Even then, he was sad that he was with you, he still needed me. But teach us your ways. Teach us to come out our ways. Teach us to still look to you in spite of the source. Comfort this more, therefore, this more. The weight of your children. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. My name is Brother Kwesi. I join you on behalf of the pastor. We are saddened by the source of this very important senior citizen whom you fondly knew as a college. This has really been a very bad week for me, many people. We have lost many members. On Saturday, I was supposed to wake up over here at midday. The Friday night, I got a call. This man had died. So you can imagine the smoke of confusion. That time when they were supposed to be ready, we had the time, we used that time for the service for the destiny dead when they face. Today, before you came in, we had the service for strong Christian church again, who has also succumbed to COVID-19. My own bishop died the other night. Bishop of the North of Diocese. Today at 10 a.m. the service was held. All Saints. And now we are in this service of NEKO NERI. And many others. So, as human beings, this gives us strength. I didn't know what this would be, but through what we have said, I knew him so closely. What I was. My condolences to your uncle, your sibling, your brother. Special condolences to you, Abigail and who are in the US. This also adds in the scope of force that they can't be here. Also adds sorrow. But when we read those scriptures, when we read Psalm 46, according to the heading is God is with us. So, Arthur, Andrew, Abigail, James, God is with you. The very body fraternity, and all you who knew God is with you. God said these words to the children of Israel. Verse Psalm 46 says, God is our shelter, is our strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. So we will not be afraid. Even if the earth is shaken, and the mountains fall into the ocean depths, even if the seas roar and rage, and the hills are shaken by the violence, God remains God and is with us. Be comforted by this words. God is in charge of the situation. God is with us. God is with you. God will not leave you. God's package for you of good tidings is not exhausted by the loss of your life. The Bible continues. He said this because around Israel there was a tendency, repeatedly they had these catastrophes, natural catastrophes. They would experience earthquakes, and then the hills just collapse into the ocean. All villages disappeared into the ocean. Sometimes the seas would rise, the water levels would rise, and the great waves and just submerge villages. So it is against this fact that God is saying He is going to offer protection
his children Israel, even when there were those natural hazards, earthquakes, and raging oceans. So, same with you. He says, beneath the seas roar the rage and the hills are shaken by the violence. Verse 14. There is a river that brings joy to the city of God. There is still joy. His ways to you are not exhausted. Remember, he's the one who created your dad in the first place. Remember, he's the one who gave you all the unique qualities. Remember, he's the one who has given you for all these years. Remember, it is God who is able to leave these things, and it was for a purpose. God who does all those things will not leave you alone. God is with you. I lost my dad in 1991. Come November, it will be 30 years. So when I speak to you, I'm speaking to you experience. You were just little things. Very small children. We didn't have anything to support us. But you can't imagine how God has built up that family is still there. And that family of family is strength to strength. I'm speaking to all the confidence that God is not going to leave us. And that's the way that He is watching from the States. We breathe, don't need His prayer. Psalm 23. David wrote from the experience of being a shepherd. And he said, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Because as a good shepherd, the good shepherd will ensure that his flock will have enough grass. And when they have eaten enough, water they will flow. And as if that is not good enough, he will offer physical protection. So David uses that narrative to know that God is there. And say, if he goes the shadow of death, God will remain God. He will see you. He will supply your needs. He will give you the packages of happiness. The thing from 1991 was not hard anything to make us better. No, we have had many things. We're just there. There was the good one that goes through university. The others were career. Can't imagine how many our children have no. The children, the family is vibrant. I can say with confidence that God is going to stretch it. And the NEKO family will still rise to prominence. In the rise to prominence, we are sad circumstances in which we are told that God knows you by name. He has got good. And he says it in John 14. He says, I know the plans I have. The plans to make you prosper. Okay, that is Jeremiah. But John 14 says, do not be troubled. In my Father's house, many things. It is very satisfying to know that the God who created each one of us, a God who knows us by name, has got good plans. And you cannot know which plans it is. God cannot just create you. And we are all Christians. We are all sorry. We are afraid to be sorry. Let us fight. COVID has come as a bad thing. Let us fight with all our heart. Let us pray. I'm happy that we have gotten that assignment of the vaccines. Let's pray. Wow. Let us also fight with our wives the souls. Let us not die when we are just moving more. Let's die when we are also fighting more. That is what God calls us to be soldiers. And I prophesy that by the end of this month, the train, this prophet, be going down. The graph will come down again. We shall have a reason to smile. Let us not give up. Let us not give up. We are soldiers. May God bless you, generously, and we lay his body in the eternal rest. Be strongly in the potential. Let's echo those stories. What the legacy has left behind. Andrew, Martha, don't lose hope. Don't be discouraged. Don't be defeated. Let's fight on. May God bless you. Father, in heaven, we are here to say thank you. May restoration of whatever is. So we thank you that we have given us time to share these testimonies about what many of us stood for. Father, we commit the family to your hands. The wife, the kid, the relatives and friends and those the sporting solidarity for that night. Thank you for giving me us. Thank you for what you have enabled. Now we pray for Genesis. We pray that his funeral should be a convention where the speeches are directed towards sharing your goodness. Give us this day our daily bread until we meet again. All this we pray through Jesus Christ. The blessing of God will be with the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Rest upon each one of you. Remain with you now and forever.
Thank you for putting these components together. See it. For the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Thank you. Service has come to an end. I don't know whether some people want to go to their risks, so some people will this. Otherwise, the service is ended. Unless you have something else to say, some announcement to make, let me invite the choir to lead us in the singing of our session.
Can we? Yes.